What's going on, people? TK coming at you today. I just wanted to talk to you guys about insurance policies. And arguably, the ultimate insurance policy is having paper converted into gold. But the issue is you have to have a large enough amount of gold in order to carry you through hard times. When I lost my job, I converted the gold that I had, and it carried me for about a month. So if you think about taking your income tax, if you think about taking about $10,000 and buying a 1 kilogram bar, and you do that every year, then that's a insurance policy that'll last you a lot longer. And the biggest education problem is that people don't know how to liquidate hard assets. In other words, if you own an insurance policy in gold and you're saving in hard assets, then you need a gold dealer in order to get liquidity out of it. Not a pawn shop, but a gold dealer. So life lessons, you learn the hard way. You don't plan for an emergency. You don't think that it's going to happen to you in terms of losing your job or any type of emergency where you need to have a plan B. And we're not taught to think 5 years out. We're not taught to have a plan B. So most people put all their eggs in the fiat basket. So you make X amount of money at work, you take the money you make at work and you put it in your savings account. Your savings account gets dwindled, and then you hope to find a new job before you max out your savings or your credit cards in my case. So it's a situation where you can't really teach someone to do the right thing. You kind of have to put your face in the mud, in the curb, fall down and hurt yourself before you wake up. And that's the reality of how you can't unlearn what you've been taught. You've been taught to fail, and you never do the right thing. Because when I had a decent income, I never did the right thing. I never purchased a large amount of gold. I never bought 1 kilogram bars. And that's what you need in order to survive. If you're going to buy small quantities of gold, then you need to spend about 250 grams worth of small quantity, because it takes that in order to hold you over in an event of emergency. So ill-prepared, actions that don't lead to results, assets versus liabilities, getting to the position point where you're ahead of the game. None of these things make sense. None of these things are propagated. You just stick to what you know. And if you think about it, most of us learn our financial literacy through our parents. There's no class in school that teaches you how to budget. There's no economic degree that shows you the difference between the asset and the liability. There's no structure that you learn in terms of how the rich are able to get ahead. So in other words, what I'm saying is that we're in a situation where if you don't put forth the effort to self-study, you're going to continue to do things that don't help you. I did so many things that didn't help me to the point that I needed it to, that now I'm paying the price. So whether you listen or not really doesn't matter. People pay the price. You know, anything that you don't do or that you don't know, you will pay the price. And that's the sad truth about the life experience, is that not knowing the plate is hot doesn't prevent you from getting burned. You still will suffer the consequences. So the only thing I'm trying to do is learn from my mistakes. You know, it's not about how you fall, it's about how you get up. And my thought process is using currency as a tool and not worshiping the wrench. The wrench is a tool that you use for access. It's not something that you put on a throne and worship. So if you think about currency as a tool and you think about providing access to items that appreciate, and if you take the time to allocate some of your currency into appreciating assets, then you're going to reap the benefit as opposed to the repercussion. And that's not something, like I said, that you can teach people. And of course, it's not something that most want to talk about. But it's what I've always talked about. And it's definitely what I'm learning given my current situation. So learn from your mistakes or learn from somebody else's mistakes. It's totally up to you. You're in control of your life. You're in control of yourself. And that's pretty much the only thing you're in control of. The fallacy that people control situations is not reality. I think the only situation you can control is how you respond. And that's about it.